I found out just within like the last 10 or 15 years that there's always been people like me. I remember exactly the day it was too. I was in a museum. I think it was a Museum of the American Indians on 155th in Amsterdam. And I saw this whole case of these little sort of thumb-sized pottery men and women. And it was perfect, you know, all the women had little clay breasts and little tattoos and stuff. And then there were sort of little figures with different kind of tattoos and bows. Now, this sounds very simplistic about the basket and the bow, and I really don't mean it very simply at all. So I was looking at them, and I noticed that a couple of the little clay women didn't have breasts, and a couple of the little clay men did. And I couldn't figure it out. And I kept standing there staring at that case for a long time, thinking about it. And finally I called the curator of the museum. And he actually asked me, why do you want to know? Why do you want to know? Like the information can only be given out on a need-to-know basis, you know. So I said, well, I'm a student at Columbia, because I wanted the information, and I was afraid it would become inaccessible to me if I said, because I'm one of those little clay dolls without breasts, you know, with a bow. What can I tell you?
Stonebridge Blues, at least, that was definitely a theme, and I think, and like every queer person can tell you that. I mean, maybe not everyone, but like I feel like most queer people and most like trans people could tell you that like they had to learn how to be themselves, like from people who had to do the work like before they did, I guess, like, and then I don't know, it's kind of beautiful. But I'm Kelsey. Do I say I'm your roommate? I'm your roommate. I'm Eli's roommate. I'm Kelsey. And I am an artist at the University of Iowa. I make prints and other stuff too. And I make prints. So, yeah, because the assignment was about kinship, and it was about, you know, or it could come from, you know, seeing yourself in someone else and like all this stuff about kinship. And like the first thought I had was of Leslie Feinberg, because I feel like I've never really resonated with like a person in like lesbian and queer history as much as I did with Leslie. Like I feel like that's like the first person I was like, oh my god, okay, maybe this happened before, maybe it can happen again.
His own tone got kind of scared, you know. He sort of dropped down. He dropped his face and he said, "It's really very disturbing, isn't it?" And I was just so mad. I was so mad. And that's how I felt when I found out about Joan of Arc. What if I had known all that when I was growing, you know? I mean, what kind of possibilities that would have opened up for me to find my place in the world, to find my place in history. There's a reason why I didn't know all that stuff. It's not just that they didn't tell me, it's they didn't want me to know it, and I needed to know it, but I found it anyway. There's an old African saying that until the lions come to power, the hunters will write the history. So this is the lion's tale.